We start here. The Commission of Inquiry into State Capture kicks off in Parktown, Johannesburg this morning. It's being chaired by Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. It will be probing allegations of fraud and corruption at state-owned entities. Former Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas and former ANC MP Vytjie Mentor are among the first witnesses who have been called to testify at the inquiry. Former President Jacob Zuma is expected to testify at some stage about his alleged involvement with the Gupta family. The former statesman has been accused of facilitating government deals for the Guptas, a claim he has repeatedly denied. The commission was established in March after a High Court ruling ordered Zuma to comply with the Public Protector's remedial action on allegations of business influencing deals in government.
All right, for more on this, let's cross over live to Afro Worldview reporter Sindisiwe Twala. Sindisiwe, thank you so much for joining us.
A very good morning to you.
Meetings have been long awaited. Please paint a picture of what is to be expected today.
Like you've correctly cited, we're here at the state capture inquiry that is expected to kick off at 10. What we are expecting is that 5 witnesses are going to be giving testimonies as how they believe the state has been captured. We know that this is an allegation that has been going around since late 2015, 2016, where a couple of ministers or acting ministers or deputy ministers rather came out saying that no, we've been called into the Saxon World mansion that was owned or previously owned by the Guptas, who had actually asked us to do a couple of things. We know that Mcebisi Jonas was the deputy minister of finance at the time. He claimed that he was offered 600 million in order to take up the position of finance minister. At the time, he would be replacing Nhlanhla Nene, who was going to be fired. So another person was an ANC MP, Vytjie Mentor, like you've cited. She was also offered the position to be Minister of Public Enterprise. What this particularly entails, had she taken up the position as Public Enterprise Minister, it would entail that she would be the head of state-owned entities, which we found out in the course of those 2 years have been looted. We're talking of the likes of Eskom having financial issues, a number of others. So those are the issues here at play. We also know that Themba Masego is also going to be testifying, former head of GCIS, that is the Communication Department, as well as Phumla Williams, who's now acting head in GCIS. Those are just a number of the people who are expected to be testifying, giving oral evidence as to how exactly they see that the state could have possibly been captured. As we're saying, it's still possibilities because evidence is still going to be submitted, and the 6 commissioners as well as the head, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, are going to be deciding whether the state has in fact been captured and how deeply this thing has been taking place. Also notably, we know that the Democratic Alliance had asked to cross-examine the witnesses, but the commission declined, saying no, they're going to be able to give evidence like any member of the public, but they cannot cross-examine or have any basically or make representation rather to cross-examine the witnesses. So that is what we're expecting. We know that more people as time progresses are going to also be expected to come forward and give their submissions. The public has also been given the opportunity to come forward if they deem fit to also make submissions. They're also saying that it can also be done anonymously, or they can come and take the stand.
Right, Sindisiwe, obviously a lot of South Africans are going to be tuning in. Do you think they will be satisfied with the results when it's all said and done in the court of public opinion, that is?
The thing is, we can't preempt what the commission will decide. We know that there's a lot of public perception of what exactly took place, what exactly state capture entails. But we're also going to be schooled inside as to what exactly is state capture and how deeply it has been done. We know that different departments, Treasury has been one that has been in the forefront. We also know that public enterprise, like I mentioned, communications, we know that those are other departments that we've been hearing a lot of possibly being captured. But we know that as time progresses, lots might be unraveled that maybe other departments were also captured. And we also need to find out exactly the extent of it. We cannot now decide whether the public will be satisfied or not. We might even be surprised and find out that things are not as they seem. So after the witnesses have made their testimonies, we'll be able to find exactly what is happening. But as it progresses, it's going to be a lengthy day for us. It's going to be a lengthy couple of months to find out what exactly happened. So we're not quite sure.
All right, now you spoke about the fact that it's going to be a lengthy couple of months or even longer, but what critical points should South Africans tuning in look out for and listen for throughout the course of these proceedings?
People should basically be looking out to the submissions that are being made. They should also listen to how they're going to be questioned by the legal experts. The people who are going to be part and parcel of the panel are people with extensive experience. We're talking about doctors, Dr. Kgotso de Beer, who's the secretary of the commission. We're talking about Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo with over 20 years of experience in labor law, in the constitutional court, in the legal sector. We're talking about people who are SCs in their own rights, just the additional members who comprise of the 7. So these are people who are not going to just be taking things as they come, but they're going to be cross-examining them. They're going to be finding out the finer details. They're going to be analyzing the evidence that is given, whether it's orally or written and the likes. So what people can expect is that even after witnesses have made their submissions, they should not take it at face value, because cross-examination is still going to be taking place. From questions are going to be posed to them by the scholars here who are leading the commission. So that is what people should be expecting. They shouldn't be taking every single word of the witnesses being made, but they should also be listening to the questions that are going to be posed, because what will eventually happen is that after everything has been analyzed, the commission will give a report as to what exactly they see has happened. So people are going to be hearing witnesses, but they must also be cognizant of the fact that cross-examination or examinations rather going to be taking place, and other witnesses are going to continue. It's not just today. Today is just the curtain raiser of what we can expect.
All right, Sindisiwe, before we let you go, I would like you to talk to our viewers about the importance of the various stakeholders who brought these proceedings about. We're talking about the media, NGOs, civil groups, members of the public, politicians, and even the judiciary.
The importance of the different people who raise these flags about the state possibly being captured is that civil society group basically represent ordinary South Africans who would likely not be able to voice their opinions or in the magnitude that they have. We know that a lot of protest action ensued after these allegations were brought forth that the state could possibly be captured. We know that this is what resulted in former President Jacob Zuma being ousted, leaving office. We also know that the ANC has also been going through a lot of things internally. At some point they had requested, or faction rather had requested, for an introspection that should have taken place in the African National Congress. We also know that the judiciary did not necessarily speak about this. The judiciary is another arm of the state that has not actually been talking about this. They've just been ruling on the different court judgments. The importance, however, is that if ministers at the time had raised these objections, it shows that they felt a sense of not being able to do their job or fulfill their job because they felt as though their hands were tied or the state had been captured. So the importance, like I mentioned, had the Public Enterprise Ministry been captured, or we might find out that it was, we're not sure. Had it been captured, it would mean that state-owned entities would have been captured, and state-owned entities being captured would mean that millions or possibly even billions would have been taken out of the coffers of our country. So that is what we are going to be hearing. Has the state been captured? If so, how exactly has it been captured, and how deeply has it been captured? Because that would give context to why we've been having issues with our economy and money not possibly being channeled to the right departments. So that is what we can expect, and that is the magnitude of this particular inquiry.